This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage. This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage Podcast. I'm your host, Rashonda, and this is my husband and co-host,
Jason.
And here at the B-Side, we talk about everything related to marriage, the good, the bad, the real, the A, and the B-Side. And so if you're checking us out on YouTube, please be sure to like and comment and subscribe. And if you're listening, please be sure to rate and review on all podcasting platforms.
As well, follow us on Facebook at The Bside of Marriage and on Instagram at Bside of Marriage.
Okie dokie, let's get into it. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. First segment we like to start off with is where we share our A or B side moment from the week. And I'm going to let my husband go first.
Well, all right.
So you should have seen it coming.
I'm gonna go B-side.
Okay.
Mainly because, and I don't know if it ties into what we're gonna talk about today, but
okay,
having our kids be very impatient. Being home, I see how impatient they get with the littlest things, and. Like, it's annoying.
Yep.
Frustrating. And it's like, I laugh because I think of my mom used to say, all the stuff that I put her through, I'm going to get it back 10 times.
Exactly.
So I laugh at that, but that's really, for me, is the B-side. Just the past week is everything has to be instantaneously for the kids. There's no patience. There's no waiting. Why is this not happening now? So, yeah, that's mine. What about you? Can't piggyback. Nope, gotta get your own.
I'm just going through the week. It's been a very crazy week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an A.
Okay.
The kids have been doing swim lessons. And so they both passed. The oldest and our daughter, they passed their swim lessons, or passed their levels. So now they're...
I covered up because you...
Oh, I was wondering what was going on. So they are now on to the next. So that was one of our goals, is to get them, summer goals was to get them more familiar with and become more confident around water, and they've done it. Yeah. And so even our youngest,
he never got in the water, and now he's in the water.
He's in the water, and he's wanting to jump into the pool, and he thinks he's a avid swimmer. Not so much yet. I'm gonna work on his float, but anyways, I just they really were working hard. All three this summer on learning to swim, and so we were able to do that. So that's my A. I spent a lot of times at lessons over the last couple of weeks, so.
Yeah, running crazy.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna go into our next segment, the P2P Share, where we share something that we listen to, reading, watching. And just share. So, what about you, man? You start doing.
I have something to share.
Okay.
It's not really related to marriage stuff, but everything doesn't have to be related, right?
Okay.
Well, so I'm binge watched this show called The Bear.
Oh.
And if you watch Shameless on before, it's kind of like a sequel, but it's a different little spin. But anyways, I thought it's entertaining. I chuckled a couple times. So if I chuckle, it's really about dysfunctional families. So I just could relate to that, and then grief and also too just life and curveballs constantly been thrown at you. So that was like, oh, I can relate. So that's what I was like. So if you want to check it out.
I honestly ain't got nothing for you.
No.
I'm just saying because, like I said, with me doing my trainings and stuff like that, I'm literally focused on that, so I really haven't been watching much.
Okay.
So watching or even listening, like, the most, I guess, only thing I have listened to, I guess, this past week is the Ty Tribbett album. That's it.
Okay.
That's really, that's really.
Well, I guess, do you like it?
Oh no, I do it. Like I feel like it feels like he's brought back how he used to do it.
How he started.
Yeah. So, big sounds, horns, all that stuff.
Yes.
I like it. So
yes. No, I agree.
that's probably the only thing. So.
Okay. So that was something.
That's true. No, you're right. That was something. I didn't think about it till just now.
Okay.
So.
Well, look at that. Okay. So we're talking today about kids.
How many of us have them?
Well,
no.
Yes. We're talking about how parenting impacts your relationship, your marriage, especially this thing called gentle parenting specifically. Because this is something that we've been trying to incorporate more so, and it's exhausting. So if you don't know what gentle parenting is, it's basically a concept where you're spending more time like trying to understand your child, empathizing with them, showing them respect, and helping them set boundaries and respect boundaries. And so it's a lot more Philly than what we grew up on. I'm not going to say traditional because, that varies, but what we grew up on was not like this. Like, if you're crying, I'm like...
What you crying for?
What you crying about? I'll give you something to cry about. You're trying to voice feelings. Parents are like, listen, kids are to be seen and not heard.
Yep.
So we're trying to move away from that and embrace more of the gentle parenting kind of philosophy. But in doing that, it is exhausting and draining. Meaning because... like, I sometimes like it just because I'm like, okay, I have to help them process their feelings in a positive way. But that's in alignment with what I'm going to school for. So this is like, it's like on this job.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm using that for school. Like, but normally no. I guess, how do you feel about it? Being that you don't need this for case scenarios and stuff.
You see my face. That's like, this is, again, I don't, growing up, I've heard the same things. We talked about what we felt, but it wasn't to the extent how we're doing it with our kids, I feel. So it was like, I never, if I had something to say, I was able to voice it, but I had to talk not in front of folks, in front of adults. I had to wait till I get home and then talk that way. So, my mom was always, my mommy and my dad too was, like I said, you say I'm the one to talk a lot, and I'm emotional and stuff. So I got all that from growing up, but at the same time, like you said, this is exhausting. Like, it's. I get part of it has to do with the fact that it's like, like I've said this before. I don't know if we've said it on the podcast, but I want my kids to be able to answer me the first time when I say something. I don't have to say things 30 million times.
Yeah, you've said it on the
podcast. Okay, I don't have to say something 30 million times. And then it kind of goes back to, okay, how many times God said it to you? So it's like, okay, these kids get a lot of grace. Whole lot of grace.
Yes, they do.
Whole lot of grace.
How much grace?
Whole lot of, with the what? So a whole lot of grace, but it's exhausting. Like, I don't, like I said, sometimes I gotta just check out because.
Okay. Well, I guess why did we decide to switch things up?
Honestly, I don't remember. No, I really don't remember. I know it's something I remember we talked about, but I don't remember exactly why we did it. You know, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even gonna lie. I really don't remember.
Well, I thought we decided that we were gonna try to help them process, because we want them to be more holistic, like humans, and when they leave our house.
Oh, yeah.
And so we didn't want to stigmatize, them.
Yeah.
Because, black boys are not, black men, black boys are not supposed to express feelings.
Yeah.
So that creates other issues as they're growing up, even how they show up in their relationships, So we were going to try to get them to be able to process feelings and be able to speak up and be okay with speaking up. To us, we want them to be able to come to us. So because of that, they would need to have an open dialogue and be able to be okay with trusting us with the tough stuff.
Yeah, but
because Aiden's going to junior high, and we wanted to. Oh, okay. Now it's all coming back.
No, it's all coming back now. It's like okay.
Well, yeah, because it was like we wanted to make sure, because there's so much, and it goes back also to even with wives and with your husbands, like when they're outside of the household and they're people of color, they're constantly having to be on guard, having to be basically, attentive to everything. They're not always, but they could be attacked, with words, not necessarily physically. So it's just like they're constantly being bombarded with things. So we wanted the house to be a place where they could truly be themselves and be able to communicate, and when they don't understand things, be able to talk to us and we will help them process those things.
Yep.
But having said all that, it is exhausting. So, it is, but it is needed, because look, I didn't grow up that way. Yeah. And I also grew up where it was more of, if you have a problem, just pray about it. And nothing's wrong with prayer, but it was like, as a kid, I'm like, first of all, I didn't really know how to put words to my feelings, because we were not using those words in the house.
And then you pray.
When I'm praying, I don't even know what I'm praying really for or about. I just know that I'm supposed to pray. So, God, you made me. You know something going on. Here it is.
Fix it.
Mm-hmm. So we wanted to help put vocabulary out there so that they can put, so they can name their feelings. So they can also, too, practice self-control. Because that right there, for me, is one of the big things.
That's why I just breathed.
Yeah, because it's like something doesn't go according to their plan or according to their timing, like Jay was saying for his B-side. They immediately react, and it's not always good. I'm just like,
okay,
what's going on?
So for me, it's like every time something doesn't go that way, I feel like I'm having to talk my kids off a ledge.
For the smallest thing.
For the smallest thing. I feel like I'm talking them off a ledge for the smallest thing.
Like,
so then it's like,
for example, I want a snack. No, not right now. We're about to have dinner. It's just like a whole performance.
Yeah. So it's like, the kind of way I feel is like, okay, if I'm having to talk you off a ledge here in the house, what's happening when you're out of school? When you're out of this house in school?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, so that's where it's like,
yeah, and so I know one of the big things, like I just explained about gentle parenting, is like setting boundaries and also in setting boundaries, you have to be that example, right? And I was like, but we don't react that way. So it was like, so we're modeling
what we want them to do.
how we want them to process things, and they're just like, nah, tantrum, nah.
Like, yeah, because even there's times that I do it just to kind of break that tantrum. I'll start doing
what they do.
I do what they
Mimic
do,
them.
or I'll say something like, "Oh, you tap dancing again," and they just bust out laughing, or stop. So it's like,
Yeah.
But and again, so that's like what my wife said. It's like, we process what's going on, but we don't bust out and just start crying. Like, we don't do that.
Or the negative words.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, they talk bad about that. And I was like, wait, we don't.
So I'm gonna
do not use these words with you.
Yeah, and that's again, I don't know what it is, but I feel I know what it is. So.
What they're watching?
Yes.
Yes. So we have noticed, that we have to be more on top of what they watch.
Yeah.
Because, they're mimicking behaviors and stuff that are not being modeled here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, and they get annoyed, but I will start quoting scripture. And they're like, my God. I'm like, well, it got you to stop, didn't it? It got you to think. There's power in your words. And we're not putting that negativity out there. Yeah. We're not giving the devil any space. Mm-hmm. But, so because of this, so I guess I want to just talk about, like, how parenting in general, though this is our current struggle. We're doing, gentle parenting. So this is how we're trying to change our philosophy on parenting and stuff. Also, too, another point of that is that I grew up with whoopings. Did you grow up with whoopings? Your mom didn't whoop you. She just got you. Yeah, she just caught you off guard.
Yeah, I'll say it was because I was big. And I wasn't like fat. I was just bigger than my mom. So instead of getting whoopings, like my mom would just close fist me, like hit me. Like she would never hit me anywhere like here. She'd hit me on my legs when I don't least expect it. So that's why it was like a layaway punch. And then she'll hit me and I hit the floor. Like I just like, and just hit the floor, like face first and be in pain. Because like I said, I wouldn't expect it. And, after a while, I'll always be on. I guess that's part of probably why I'm always alert, like, of my surroundings now. Because I was always alert, and she still would get me. She would still get me. So, I was a terror up until, like, I was a terror to my family, not my mom, but I was a terror to my family up until I was about 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's where I got better. But I said I rarely got whoopings. I got like hit in the leg, knocked down. So yeah.
So to that point, one, we didn't want our kids. Our kids are very smart, so we didn't want them going and trying to report us for child abuse. Oh. 2, also we didn't want to attach like physical correction for every problem, because then they feel as though that's the only way to resolve something is through physical. But we talked the other day, was like sometimes we just have to be old school because our oldest is always listening. He's always ear hustling. Always. And he's always trying to be in conversations or include himself in conversations that are truly not for children.
Yeah, I had to pull him I had to literally have a conversation with him and tell him that.
So because of that, it's like, hey, yes, we do want you to have a voice, but when we say this conversation is not for you or about you, you need to
move on,
be respectful and move around.
Yeah.
Because every conversation is not for a kid, and even if we're talking around you guys, doesn't mean that we're inviting you into the conversation.
Correct.
Now, cause they will have an opinion on everything, but I would like to do that one challenge, where the parent comes in and asks them, or tells the child that they have to go fight, and the adult they gotta fight has a kid. Cause I just want to see what they would do, because any other time when I'm like talking, like I'm working on it, I have road rage and I get it really really quickly. But anytime like I'm like, why are you driving so slow? They're like, yeah, what are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like they are right there with me. And I'm like, okay.
They're putting a battery in the back.
Yes, cause I'm just like, they were like, yeah, they could have did this. And all of a sudden they become expert backseat drivers. But anyways, I just would be interested to see how far that will go. But yeah, they like constantly like are jumping in and they're like wanting to be involved. And I'm like, no. Yeah. Because there's certain things we do involve them in, because like I said, we want to be able to talk to them about hard things, because we have not done that well in the past. Yeah. So we want to be able to talk through hard things, and especially because it seems like so many hard things are happening. That will impact them. Yeah. So I want them to be able to talk through it, us to be able to talk through it with them and process. So, okay. So I know like a couple weeks ago we were talking about family of origin wedding edition. And I know one of the things that come with getting married, actually nowadays, even when you are engaged, people like, so we're not having kids.
Oh yeah, that's usually the first question.
And I just want y'all to know, having kids is not going to make your marriage better. It's not.
No, you're right.
Having kids is not gonna solve any problems you guys may be having. It's not going to make you feel more connected. It's not going to do anything. It's going to do the actual opposite.
Yep.
Kids come in and they do not care. The only thing, they do care. They care about themselves and themselves only. They come in crying, which is a good thing, but they come in crying. They come in pooping and peeing.
We got to feed them and clean them.
And they come in hungry.
And as they get older,
same thing.
Nothing changes.
Except then they want more things. Yeah. They just want things to be wanting.
It's more gimme.
Can I have? I need. Everything's a need. So that's also I wanted to talk about, like how having kids and parenting is, honestly, it's tough. It can be rewarding. But it's tough.
It's rewarding, but at the same time, like I said, it's God. They say, what is the saying? God doesn't give us something we can't handle. What is that?
That's what they say, but I haven't found that in the scriptures.
But, yeah, it's
because we can't handle anything. That's why we need Him.
No, you're right, but they say that.
Like, I haven't found it in the script. But yeah, that is a saying.
That's
God put more on you than you can bear. But I'm like, but I can't bear anything. I'm like, I can't. That's why I have you, God. Like, that's why we're in this. We're in this together.
He gives, like, but what I say is, like, God gave us these kids.
Yes, so that's true. Yeah.
So He knows that we can handle them.
He's gonna equip us.
Yes, and
to be able to raise them.
Yeah, to raise them, and actually so that we can equip them to when they get older. And
they gotta leave.
Oh yes, they do.
They can't stay here.
Yeah. So, but it's, I don't know, like that's was it? People, always say there's not a manual for this. It's not a manual. Nope. And, each child needs to be nurtured a certain way.
Parented the same. Parenting different. They have their own love language.
Exactly. So we gotta parent each one differently. But then it's, and then on top of doing that, one reacts, we're talking to one, then maybe the second one cries. So now we
the
got
second one will cry.
Then this one's crying, and then the other one says, "What's going on?" But he does it in a comedic fashion. So now it's like, how can we be serious now? So it's like, it's
crazy.
It's hard because it's like, how do you go from having to have a conversation with one, then one starts crying, and the other one just comes over and makes a joke.
Or talking about, I'm gonna go fish. Like, sir, we are trying to have a serious moment here.
So
I want to go fish.
So it's I don't say tough. It's very, I don't know, what's another word?
I don't know. It is what it is. So I want to talk about a couple of things and how parenting impacts your marriage, as well as, I guess, ways to, combat that, negate. I don't know, or at least come up with a plan. I don't know. We're winging it. We'll figure it out. So we're just gonna figure it out. We're just gonna go with the flow, okay? So I know one thing it changes you as a person, and for the moms, I can only speak from the mom's perspective, it changes you physically. You become a whole different person. A whole different person physically, as well as, even mentally, because it's just like, those first few months, could be first couple years are tough. What's that look for?
I'm just listening. I'm just listening. There's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, because like your body, things don't do the same things that they used to do. It could be, you could either gain weight and struggle with getting that baby weight off because snapback is not always as quick as the celebrities want to make it be. Like, also too, it's just random things happen. Like shoe sizes change permanently. Literally.
I'm like, where we go with that?
That's what I'm saying. It's so random. So with each kid, my foot has gotten bigger. And that's just like, really? They're like, oh no, it's supposed to cover. And no. Those shoes are no good to me anymore. So just like random things like that. But also when you are changing physically, first of all, you're married. Y'all got the baby. Mm-hmm. You got to do some things to get the baby, right? Mm-hmm. So all that going on, and then you have a husband who like, hey,
I need attention.
Yes. Mm-hmm. How you gonna deal with that?
You asking me like?
No, that's not a rhetorical question. I was like, I'm saying that's stuff that you have to keep in mind. Yeah. Do you have anything to say about changing as a person?
Honestly, for dads, mm-hmm. And I'll say for myself, I believe I was very protective before, mm-hmm. but even with a child, I became even more protective. Very protective. Like I said, like lying,
yes.
me. Like I'm very protective of my wife and these kids. So
especially when they couldn't talk.
Oh yeah. I went to preschools. Mm-hmm. I went to preschools and gave some people my mouth because they try to say some stuff about my son when I'm watching. I was literally watching the feed happen, and it was trying to reprimand my son for something another kid did, mm-hmm. and I didn't like it. So it's.
Which is also why Jay is very visible at schools. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be a PTA dad or whatever. Like he's gonna be there if they're doing volunteer, like asking for volunteers. He's gonna sign up because he wants them to know that they have parents who care.
And I'm the wrong one to mess with. That's the other thing.
Trying to
I'm just gonna say it. I'm the wrong one to mess with. So don't come at my family like that. I don't play that, so.
This is so true.
So again, it's like you said, more. I changed, not just the protective part, but I know I've changed with each child. You know, each child we have, and it wasn't. I can't say it was the same for each one because it was different for each one of the kids.
Yeah, but the first one we had no idea what we were doing.
And again, I don't think we didn't know anything.
We didn't know.
We didn't know anything to do for the first one. The second one, we still didn't know anything to do. Like, we had an understanding of what we
understood what could happen.
Yeah, but we wasn't prepared for that.
We were not.
And then we wasn't prepared for the third one coming 15 months later.
Well, we were blindsided by that one.
So it was like, every one brought a different challenge. And we just had to adapt and be able to, I don't want to say pivot, but just adapt to, the changes that were happening, because at the same time, like, we had changes in our family, losing my mom, then having our daughter, losing your dad, and then having our son. So we had changes, like, we had a loss, then we had a baby. Loss, and then a baby. So it was like, we was dealing with a lot of changes, like, we had... And we said it before, it's like we had to be able to continue to move on and, make a life for these kids. Mm-hmm. Even though we was still grieving, we still had to make a life for these kids, so.
Yeah, that leads me into the next change about how having kids changes your household. Yeah. Yes. Like you said, we had to change because we were dealing with all kinds of changes. Mm-hmm. Also with having both sets of in-laws, but having the in-laws living in our house was also like that just changed the dynamic as well. Mm-hmm. So that's when we truly became a sandwich generation, like having to take care of our parents, and then we're raising kids. Yeah. Actually, we were just raising Aiden, and I was pregnant with Ivy. So it was just like, it was just crazy. Because you're trying to deal with your emotions, and like your grief, and call a thing what it is. We were dealing with our grief, but then I'm hormonal because I'm pregnant. And we have we had a son already. We had a child already. Yeah. So I guess we've never really talked about this, but how did you feel during that time? Do you even remember that time?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's like I said, for me, it was, I guess, and this is probably more of I'm going to say it's a guy thing. Maybe it's not.
A guy or guy?
A guy thing. Like, I understood, like, my grieving, and I'll say it like that, my grieving that whole time, I had to still work, and meaning, I don't say work, but I had to be able to still provide for you guys regardless of me losing somebody, me losing, my mom, and as well as your dad, and as well as other people that we lost during that time. So I had to be able to and I don't like to say it, but just push it to the side and continue to focus on family and my work so I can provide. That's literally what I did. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like I shut anything off. It was like I kind of moved to the side and dealt with it when it came back. Not saying when it came back, but when those emotions came back, I just had to deal with it. And that's how, I guess, that's why I say it may be a guy thing, maybe not. But that's what I can
kind of agree with that. I felt like we were disconnected for sure.
Me and you? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Well, so I felt like it was really strange. When your mom died, I became protective of you.
Yeah.
I was extremely protective. And then I took on doing things for the services or just even during that time that I wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
To protect him from having to do things or make decisions and or have difficult conversations. 'Cause, you know, families trip at weddings and funerals.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just doing that. And then afterwards, like I said, I was pregnant. So it was just kind of like focusing, like I tried to make sure that I wasn't, that you were good, and that I wasn't I wasn't embodying too much of that sadness. They say, you know, the baby can pick up on all that stuff, whatever. So literally, I think I tried to hold off. I don't even know if hold off, but I didn't really begin processing my grief until after Ivy was born. But then Ivy's born, and she's, you know, newborns, they'll suck you dry. So, so dealing with that is just like, I didn't really... I felt like, we were just disconnected at that point.
We didn't really have too many conversations regarding the losses. We were just...
Oh, no, we didn't have those because we didn't have time. It was literally like, that's why I think we were disconnected from a relationship perspective. But we were unified in getting things done. Yeah. You know, like we were like, our household was still functioning because we were having to take care of these little peoples. And then, when Dad died, it was just like, it wasn't so much, it was another significant grief, but... When we found out we were pregnant with Micah after that, it was just like we were in survival mode. Like, because we didn't have any time to process. I didn't have any time.
Nope.
You say you processed his death, but I literally could not even, did not even, it was crazy. It was so crazy.
And she didn't talk about it, so she just kept it to herself.
Yes, because I will internalize anything.
Bottled it up too.
All the time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk about that. Nope. I'm not gonna talk about it. But also too, I was able to, because so much else was going on, I was able to hide behind, I have all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Literally, we got Aiden. Ivy was 6 months.
Yep.
So I have a baby, she wasn't untitled, she was a baby. And I'm like, what?
I'm trying to think, it was 6 months.
Yeah, she was 6 months. Oh, I know. And so, and it was just like, and then right after having Micah, then you were doing a couple of photography gigs out of town.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was going to lose my mind. I'm not lying. I was like, Lord, I would cry. I was like, oh no, do I got the postpartum depression? Like, it was so much. And then I was like, well, is it postpartum, or am I grieving, or am I just frustrated? Am I lonely? Like, I had no idea what was going on. It's just me and the babies in the room. Yeah. They crying, I'm crying. We all just cried. And then he'll call, he'll be like, how are you? Oh, we're good.
Yeah, she never really... Yeah.
Oh, no. I didn't tell you.
Because I had to travel for work, too.
That's what it was like. It was like back-to-back kind of things. Yeah. And like I said, I was losing my mind.
Yep.
So that was like, so they come in, they change it, and they also increase stress. So, if you're trying to have kids to bring you together, it's not gonna happen. Because they, like I said, they have their own needs, and they don't care about nobody else. They don't care about nobody else. They're very selfish because they're kids, they're
Feed
babies.
Me, poop. Yes. I need cleaning. Pick me up.
So you gotta have to have a plan in place to combat that stress.
Yeah.
Well, we already had a safe word. So it was like, hey, when you're reaching to the point where, you got to tap out, like, you need to use safe word.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need you to come take these kids. We even had to work on transitions between you coming when you were like coming into the house.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, here, take this baby.
Yeah, because I was literally walking in and she's like, take this baby. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
yes.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, so you have to figure out how to allow both of you to get your self-care, like your time alone, so you can maintain your sanity.
Yeah.
Other ways we have used to combat, I shouldn't say combat, but other ways we have decided to parent together. Because I know a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, I know some people have it to where the mother does a lot of the parenting and the husband may do the discipline portion of it. Or it could be just one spouse is doing all of it. We said we're not doing that. Because this is the reason why we say that is because we married each other for each other.
Yeah.
And yes, having kids is something that the Bible said, we're supposed to do. But that's not all we were not put on this place just to have kids and to nurture kids and raise them up. And then, because literally we want to raise them up so they can go out and be fully functioning humans.
So that means they ain't gonna stay.
So that means they're not gonna stay. So we only have them for a short amount of time when you think about, life. But they're gonna leave, and when they leave, I still wanna love my husband.
Yes.
I still wanna have a relationship with him, a connection with him. So we decided we're not going to do that. All of our parenting decisions are made together. Sometimes one person is doing more of the legwork because of our jobs, but it's still a joint effort. Like we do not allow our kids to put us against each other.
Correct.
Like you're not gonna come ask me for something, don't get the answer you want, then go to dad and be like, well, mom.
I'd be like, what your mama say?
Yeah.
Okay. So why you like that's the what your mama say? So because she said, then why you asking me?
Yeah. Because they'll be quick. They'll try to. I was like, y'all might outnumber us, but you're not gonna get over on us like that.
No, you're right.
We do make sure we have conversations about decisions together before announcing the decision or having that decision said to the child. But we do. I'll often say, I don't know yet. I need to talk to your dad. Yeah. But then
they don't like that. Because
why y'all talk to daddy?
Because see, I get it on the other end. It's like, okay, I have to have a conversation with your mom before we even do that. And then literally, I would go to work. I'd come back. That's the first thing they ask me in the morning.
Oh, have you talked to?
It's like, what time I got in last night from work? 1 o'clock in the morning. I haven't talked to your mom about that.
Exactly.
But
we were
why?
not staying up talking about you.
Because we haven't talked yet. So, and they'll keep asking me, and I'm just like, when I talk to your mom, we'll talk about it. Like, so.
Yes. And one thing that Jay loves is that we prioritize us over the kids.
Oh, I was gonna say, what? Yeah, forget them kids. Like, forget them kids.
Because they will suck you dry.
And
then kick you to the curb.
Be like, all right, time to go to bed. Why? It's only 8 o'clock. Time to go to bed.
It's the summer.
Mommy and daddy going to the room, or we're going somewhere. We're going out to dinner. Like, it's... Yeah, that's one of the things that, through even when, in our marriage ministry that we was part of and stuff like that, that's something that we've learned is like, you have to always make time for one another. Like I said, we said it earlier, kids are going to be going to leave.
Yes.
If you don't continue to make that time for one another when the kids leave, that connection you guys have is going to be gone because you didn't make that time intentional for one another. Yeah. So... But yeah, it's...
Yeah, and we know, like, taking care of kids is something that we have to do. Like, they do have needs. They can't do everything themselves. And we're not saying abandon or neglect your children for the sake of your marriage, but it's also prioritizing your time. They don't... You have to give them a percentage of your time. They can't have it all.
Correct. We only have 24 hours in a day.
Exactly. You don't have 24 hours in a day.
So
you need to make sure that you're also not doing everything for them, because you're teaching them to rely on you for everything.
Correct. Yeah.
And that will take up more time because you're doing everything for them. And I know this is hard for us moms who are who like to be in control. But you have to let them learn. Let them learn. Let go. And it might not be done perfectly, but at least it's getting done, and they have some ownership in it, right? I say that because I'm working with the dishes. Kids don't do a really great job in loading the dishwasher.
Just not even loading, just washing the dishes. This is how they like. I don't see no soap. Hold like this.
It's weird.
It's like wash. Put some elbow grease on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, so it's little things like that, like even laundry. I don't know how to hang. Well, then you'll never learn if you never try. So, like, you got to try it. You have to try, because I'm not doing your laundry.
It takes so long to hang them up.
Yes, it does. Because you watch TV.
Yes, I literally said you have one day I said you have 30 minutes to do it. That's not. I'm not gonna be doing. I bet you can do it. No, go upstairs and do it. Give him a time limit. He got it done.
Yeah, but you have to do that because, like I said, they need to be able to take care of themselves. Like, these are things that they should be able to do without you.
Wash their butt.
Well,
there's another one. Wash their butt. So I'm just.
We're working on that. Kids are nasty, man.
Kids are nasty. And again, I don't, like I said, for me, I don't remember. I don't remember doing all that because, again, I was hanging out. So I always make sure I was fresh.
That's not why. I mean, it's just good hygiene. So,
I'm just saying.
But yeah, so we did that. So yeah, we always prioritize us over them. And our kids are blessed. Abundantly blessed.
Oh, I was like, what?
And which is also something that we do. We don't just constantly are giving.
Oh, yeah,
because their gifts actually get they just want stuff.
And
then it just lays around, and then I get mad because we got all this clutter, all this money just basically that we wasted in these things that they don't play with anymore. But, we make sure that they have things to enjoy, but we also say no. And it's okay to say no.
It is.
They don't need to always get a yes. Our daughter actually had...
That's what I was about to say, but go ahead.
Had the audacity to ask us, when are we going to have a yes day? When are the kids going to have a yes day? I was like, ma'am, if you don't get out of this office...
Like, I remember when she said it. I turned my head so fast, but she said the answer before, because I was about to be like...
I was like, every day's a yes day for you guys.
She's like, I turned my head fast because I was about to say something, but she got it before me. Like, I would have said something different, but she got the right word, though.
She was like, what do you mean? No, you say no. When?
She was like, all the time.
I was like, because that's the only things you remember.
Yeah.
Because you don't remember all my yeses.
Yeah.
I was like, literally. So I had to run down yeses for what was the last few hours.
Yeah, the last few hours.
It wasn't even, I'm not even talking about days, years, a few hours. I said this, I got you that. Because the food they want is not stuff that I want to eat.
Can have a grilled cheese sandwich.
But you have all that stuff because I know that you like it. That is a yes. Because we were in the store, that would be me saying yes and put it in the basket. It shows up, and I was like, it shows up at the door. Literally, doing grocery orders delivered and you can't take the groceries from the front door to the kitchen and put it up?
It's too much work.
Oh, it's gonna take forever. Yeah. Yes.
Or my leg is hurting.
Oh man. The
my
elements.
leg is hurting. Like, dude, you are 10. How are you? So yeah.
So yes. So one thing, I guess my marriage advance tip is just that. Yes, kids are a blessing. I said can be.
She about to say can
So
be.
because sometimes you'll be like, Lord, this is a test, isn't it? It's a test. It's a test.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
test.
say because see how I be want. Like I said, for me, I go back to growing up again. My mom hit me in the leg. I go to that mood. Like, okay, we got one more time.
Yes, and that's the thing, because I don't want our house to be a yelling house.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to raise my voice at you to get the results that I want. But my breathing techniques are, they're on par, because I be wanting to say something, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, let's process this.
Yeah.
But back to my marriage advance, that wasn't a tip.
I'm sorry.
But no, anyways, the tip is that you cannot let your kids, if you choose to have kids, let that be your choice. Do not feel pressured by anyone else, any external factors. Honestly, do not even be pressured within your relationship, within your marriage, to have children. It requires both parties to be fully on board. Mm-hmm. So there's that. And if you do decide to have kids, do not let your kids separate you.
Correct.
Do not allow your kids to create division. Now, there will be some tough seasons. And of course, like newborns, toddlers, whatever, because they're more demanding physically. Mm-hmm. And then it just changes. It changes from like physical needs to, like I said, you got to help them process. You got to help them to learn words, to use their
your
words.
vowels. Yeah.
And all that. So, I mean, it just changes different, and I don't even know what the next, phase, like season will be. But it's always going to be something.
Yeah.
No matter what season you're in, what season you're going through, communicate with your spouse. Like, today is too much. It's just too much because it's too much. I need a nap. Or I need whatever you need. I need to go for a walk. Communicate with your spouse so that you are making sure that they're not separating you two, creating any division or confusion.
As well as depleting each other. Because if you're not up at 100% with the kids, it's going to deplete you, and then it's going to I don't say it's going to take away, but it will take away mm-hmm. that connection with your spouse. So because that fuse is going to be shorter. So anything's going to annoy you, anything's going to bother you, So it's like you have to take that time. If you got to take a nap, if you have to go get your feet done, just go somewhere, do it. So
and be okay in recognizing when you're taking out your frustrations. Your parenting frustrations on your husband or your spouse. Yeah. Because I would say I will snap and I'll be like, I ain't mean it like that. I was like, listen, the kids just did this or they just said this, so that's why I reacted that way. My bad.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you're giving the right thing, the right energy. Mm-hmm. So,
I don't have anything else.
Anyways.
All right,
I don't either.
Okay, well, thank y'all for listening.
Yes.
Be sure to, like I said, like, share, subscribe, as well as if there's any topics you want us to discuss, just shoot us a DM, send us a message, and we will get to working on them. And until next week,
Peace.